Here are some of the Christmas trees that I completed, and I wanted to just show you guys how I did the tops of these trees so that the last little bit there is covered up and doesn't actually look like the white cone. So for these sort of snow-covered trees, that's what the top looks like. And I just used this flecked yarn. And then for these other green trees that I have here, I used some brown at the tops of these, and then I still have one more row that I can put right on top to finish that off, and it'll just look the same. You can show as much of the brown as you want. Okay, I'm going to get started with this tree. I'm just going to cut off the top piece of my plastic here so that later on when I put my hot glue onto my styrofoam, it won't melt the plastic. So I'll just roll this down. I have clear packing tape, and I'm going to use that to tape the plastic back onto the cone. That'll also help me to be able to slide my rounds smoothly onto the cone without them getting stuck on the styrofoam each time. Okay, now that we're reaching close to the top, I don't have any tape up at this last inch here, so I'm just going to wrap it with some of my remaining red yarn, and I have my hot glue gun ready to go here. So I just have some of my yarn, and I'm just going to wrap this very last tiny part of my tree with some of my same colored yarn that I've been using. Now I've taken off the plastic wrap that's on the top here because I don't want it to just melt into the styrofoam, and which is already going to melt. So you want to just be careful to put a tiny bead of your hot glue around the cone so that you can just put on your yarn without melting down your cone too much. So I'm just going to put in my line there and then attach my yarn right into that and keep going around so that it's nice and tight. Okay, and just try your best to not make a mess with the glue. You know how it makes those little stringy pieces as it dries. So you just want to wrap nice and tight, get all of that glue covered up. The side bits here don't matter as much because my next rounds will cover all of that, but I want to make sure that my top piece will be a nice spiral that doesn't have a lot of glue bubbles sticking out or anything, but it just looks like a nice spiral, spiraled piece of yarn. But now that we're at the top of this, we're just going to cut off that top. I'm going to use the head of my pin again and just sculpt that into the right place where I want it to go down. Okay, now that that's done, we'll take off all of the pieces of glue because we all know hot glue gets just about everywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and keep putting on the rest of my rounds until I get up to exactly where I would like the top of my tree to be. Okay, so that's it. It's a pretty easy way to finish off the tops of your Christmas tree. Here's another one that I did in a green color. So you can see there's a nice spiral on the top. And here I've added on my last round and it just blends in beautifully. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.